Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Mornings with Loretta. Yes, with interest rates continue to skyrocket and outstanding revolving debt hitting $1 trillion this year, money management debt are hot topics. And so we have two very in the know ladies with us today. We're going to talk about money management. We have Natalia here and Dasha, and we're going to talk about money management. So, Natalia, I'm going to start with you. You recently conducted a national survey to have a deeper understanding on the impact of bad money habits across generations. Can you share some of your findings with us?
Understand how generational differences, we wanted to make sure we actually were servicing our clients the right way. So we found some interesting things. The big takeaway was it confirmed that we need more actionable tools that can help change people's behavior across all generations. There was over 60% of people admitted to making poor decisions when it came to money, and 42% claimed they were going through financial struggles. On the flip side, a majority of people claim that they have at least some information about how to develop money habits, but over 50% haven't incorporated them into their behaviors. That just tells us just because we know better doesn't mean that we always do better. Generationally, we found that millennials were actually, using some of those tools. 71% were owning up to their habits.
Wow, that's a large number. 71% of millennials are using those tools. I'm happy to know that. So we're going to go to Dasha. Dasha, what are the most common money habits that seem to transcend generations, and how do these habits contribute to our cycle of debt?
Yeah, in National Debt Relief Survey, the most common money habits were writing off small purchases as insignificant. So these are small purchases that usually go unnoticed, like vending machine fees, last-minute grabs in the checkout line, unused subscriptions or membership fees, and gambling was also one that came up. And that doesn't necessarily mean casinos as much as it could be buying lottery tickets, which most people think is insignificant because they maybe cost like $1 or $2, but they add up very quickly. And lastly, using credit cards to pay off bills without a plan to pay the balance off in full. These habits contribute to the cycle of debt because they create a pattern of instability and reliance on credit cards to maintain maybe a certain lifestyle or cover unsuspected expenses. So over time, the interest and the fees on the debt, it adds up, making it even more challenging to break free from the cycle of debt.
Oh, wow. Those numbers are astounding because, like you said, and I had to do this too early this year. I had a lot of subscriptions and it was just hitting my card, and I wasn't noticing it until I started wanting to look for a house and I wanted to see where I stood, with my credit. And I was like, I never use these subscriptions. And they were $6.99 here, $12.99 here, $32.99 here. And like you said, it adds up. And again, lottery tickets, you're right, because we're paying $1 or $5 for them. But over a period of a few months, that adds up to hundreds of dollars spent. So I'm glad you shared that because that can help us get out. Those little changes do help us significantly get out of debt. So I want to ask you another question. So how can the younger generation break free from detrimental money patterns? I think a lot of it is learned, although they have more resources and tools available than probably their parents and their parents. So what do you recommend for them? For all of us, really.
Yeah, there are so many factors that play into this, but breaking free of the cycle of debt, it often requires a conscious effort to make change. So we have to make a conscious decision that we are going to and want to do better. And this can involve creating a budget, reducing unnecessary expenses, building an emergency fund, seeking relevant financial education, and making a commitment to live within our means. In National Debt Relief recent survey, we got some great advice from the older generations to the younger ones. For example, 61% of baby boomers recommended that the younger generations create an emergency savings fund, and 53% recommended that we start saving and investing as early as possible. Breaking free from these money habits, it definitely can be challenging, but I think that we can do it with the right financial tools and guidance.
That and having these conversations. We cannot have enough conversations about money management, debt management, because you cannot talk about money management without talking about debt management. And for those who just didn't hear it, it's the US $1 trillion, and we said revolving debt, but that's credit card debt. That's all kinds of credit debts, honey. And yes, it includes your car, but most of it is just things that we can truly do without. So I want to ask a question of both of you to answer this question. Give me 1 to 2 tips. Can you share some tips on how to cope and overcome financial debt? You shared a lot, Dasha, but I know we got to just really bring this home. So what are 2 tips that people can start today? And I want each of you to tell me 2 tips that we can start today to get rid of that debt and to manage our money better.
I'll jump in first. I'll say the first step is to understand your financial situation, get a full picture as soon as you can of all the things that you have to pay, the interest, the balance, and the minimum monthly payments. And secondly, the second tip I'd say is stay committed. Whatever plan you decide to take on, make sure you don't get discouraged by any setbacks or any slow progress. It does take time, and celebrate your achievements along the way to stay motivated.
Yes, and to add to that, I will say develop a realistic monthly budget. Pay attention to the word realistic because it has to outline your income and your expenses. And I will also say find ways to hold yourself accountable. This can look like joining a financial community online or a support group, or even finding an accountability partner who shares the same goals as you, because I think that's also a good way for you to stay on track.
Absolutely. Those are some really good tips, and we can actually start doing that today. We don't have to wait. And I would recommend know where you are, know what your exact numbers are for every credit card, for everything that comes out of your money, know exactly what those balances are and start working toward paying those downs. Great tips, ladies. I want to know now, where can the people go for more information and more tools and resources?
You can find more tools and resources at nationaldebtrelief.com, or give us a call for a free consultation at 800-718-0487.
Okay, we'll make sure that we keep that on the screen and we repeat that number, because I know people like, Loretta, I didn't have a pencil. What's the website again? Because I have been on this kick for the last few months. We can, like I said, cannot have too many conversations about money management. So can you give us that website and that phone number? I know it's on the screen. Give us that website again, Dasha.
So the website is going to be nationaldebtrelief.com, and the telephone number is going to be 1-800-718-0487.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being my guest this morning. I've learned a lot. And like I said, I know this conversation will go deep and far for all generations. It is not going to discriminate, because money, debt does not discriminate. So thank you so much for your time, ladies.
Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you.
Have a great day. All right. So, I'm on this kick about money matters, letting your money work for you, financial literacy, wealth, wisdom, all of that good stuff is what we're doing here. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And I promise you, we're going to stay on this habit of talking about money. Let's normalize having conversations about money. Yes, money is good when it's used properly. And don't let money be your master. You master your money. Until the next time, I will see you all soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, yeah. Think positive, dream big dreams, help someone along the way. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Your life live today, have your troubles away. Maybe learn another way, hanging with Loretta. Now it's time for some fun and some inspiration. Don't you stop until you want.